Test, 1, 2, 3.
Recording in progress.
He's here. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Insurance Benefits and Ledge Committee for Wednesday, June 7th.
Okay, this meeting is being conducted virtually and in person, so I will do a roll call of the trustees to confirm attendance. Mr. Knox,
Good morning, I'm here.
Mr. Santos,
Here.
Ms. Gray. Good morning. Mr. Bernstein, Mr. Sanchez, Mr. Oakham.
Here.
Mr. Green, Ms. Greenwood, Mr. Kehoe,
Present.
Mr. Harris.
Here.
Chair Robbins.
I am present. We have a magical group here. A quorum. Yeah.
Staff participating in the meeting include CEO Santos Kryman, Deputy CEO Louis Lugo, AEOs JJ Popowich and Laura Guglielmo, Chief Counsel Stephen Rice, Legislative Affairs Officer Barry Liu, from Retiree Healthcare, Cassandra Smith, Director, and Kathy Magida, consultants Stephen Murphy, Michael Zito, Richard Ward, Debbie Donaldson from Siegel. Trustees, please use the raise your hand option to be placed in queue. At this time, we ask all meeting participants to mute your mics until you are ready to speak, and we may now proceed with the agenda.
Item 2 is the information about the procedure for the teleconference meeting. Do we have to go over that like every single meeting, or can we just say thank you very much and move right on?
We have no requests received.
All right, thank you very much. We'll move right on. Approval of the minutes of the meeting of May 3rd. I need a motion.
So moved.
Are there any changes? Could you vote?
Great. Miss Great. She does.
And the motion passed. We're on item 4, public comment. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address the committee?
I have
Nothing?
nothing.
I don't see anyone out in the audience. Non-consent items, item A, legislative proposal compliance requirements for rehired retirees. You're gonna,
Yes, good morning. Thank you, Chair Robbins and Board Trustees. So this is a proposal for submission to SACRS to sponsor an amendment regarding the statutes that provide for post-retirement employment. As you may recall, last year in some of the audit reports regarding post-retirement employment, there were some unsatisfactory findings that related to the fact that retirees had exceeded the 960-hour limit. So what this proposal would do would be to provide a way to resolve those issues, because a retiree can work up to 960 hours, but if they exceed that amount, it would be problematic to, I guess, withhold wages for services rendered. So the other alternative would be to prevent the retirees from receiving both a salary and a pension at the same time, is to offset their retirement benefit based on any hours that are over the 960 limit. So what this proposal would do would basically be to amend the post-retirement provisions to allow us to do that.
thank you very much. Any questions? We're being asked to make a motion to send this to the full board.
So moved.
There's a motion and a second. Could you vote?
Ms. Gray, how would you like to take the vote? Yes. Motion passed unanimously. Motion passed unanimously.
And a motion pass. We are on item 6A, engagement report for May.
Thank you, Chair Robbins. So some items of interest this month. The first item is about a survey that the Mission Square Research had done about employees' perceptions of financial wellness programs. So a vast majority of respondents tend to worry about their finances, and a large majority of them do so even while at work. And some of the other notable findings is that the most frequent topics that these programs cover are on retirement, investments, and insurance. And then the ways that people like to receive this information is either through webinars, interactive online courses, or one-on-one person coaching. And then interestingly, the way program information is communicated is either by email or through a website. And then printed materials are the least popular method, which stands to reason as we become more and more of an online world nowadays. And then for those who do have a program that they participate in, more than 2/3 are pretty satisfied with the program. And then about 70% of respondents view it as important for employers to offer some sort of, financial literacy program. The next items are pertaining to various initiatives for pension reform throughout the country. I'll get to that after this one. So Nevada is trying to establish a state-sponsored retirement program. As you know, several states are doing this, where it provides a program for workers who don't otherwise have access to a workplace program. But it seems that 2 previous attempts have failed. So this is the 3rd attempt at trying to establish the program. But apparently they're getting opposition from the state's private retirement marketplace. But so far, about 8 states have active plans, but 46 states are in some, point along the process, either having enabling legislation or they're doing some sort of study on program options. So, a lot of states are looking at this in order to provide more workplace access for programs. And then in North Dakota, the governor recently signed a pension reform bill that's going to shift new hires to a defined contribution plan, which interestingly is probably going to be the second state retirement system that won't have a pension plan. The first one that I understand is Alaska. And on the next item, Alaska is trying to reinstate their pension plan that they had stopped in 2006. But even with this effort, they're having trouble advancing it this year because I think the governor of Alaska and even their Senate, there's maybe some doubts about the bill. So it's still a work in progress. And then the last item is on Connecticut. So there's also a pension reform initiative there, but it seems to be almost a bipartisan one because it's struck between municipal and labor leaders and plan sponsors. So they're trying to address contribution rates and amortization periods. So they've made several changes to their plans to basically address a $1.1 billion unfunded liability. So that concludes my report. Happy taking questions.
Anyone have any questions? Thank you very much, Barry. Item B, staff activities report.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. One thing that I wanted to report is on Friday prior to the Memorial Day weekend, we mailed our annual packet out to the retirees, over 59,000 of them. That packet lets them know what the 2023-24 plan premium rates will be for that year, that fiscal year. So those are out. We've started receiving calls from members just inquiring, some of them just calling to confirm what it is they're reading. So that's out to the members. Then one thing that I did not put on the staff activity report, but it's in your CEO's report. I just wanted to draw your attention to the update that was provided in that report, letting you know that on the CVS Caremark issue with Oklahoma, there's been an update whereby CVS met with the Department of Insurance. Members that are now in Oklahoma can receive a mail order prescription as well as they can go into a pharmacy. The agreement was so that members can go to other pharmacies that elect to participate in the program, whether or not it's a CVS pharmacy or not. So our members can now receive their mail order as well as retail at network pharmacies. There's also mentioned, and then there, Minnesota also has that same issue going on. And so those members can also receive a 90-day supply or go to a network pharmacy, which now does include outside of CVS. That's it.
Anyone have any questions? The deadline for retirees to make their choices with the health insurance plans is when?
You mean far as
Changes,
LACERA?
whatever.
Ours, there's no annual open enrollment as it is with us as employees, so they can do it at any time. It's just, it may be a 6-month waiting period depending on what plan they're trying to go to. But during those 6 months, they would remain covered under the plan that they currently have with LACERA.
Cassandra, can they do this before July 1st and be on the new plan without a waiting period, or you always got a waiting period?
Yeah, there will be a waiting period if they're not enrolled in a plan at all and they want to join LACERA, or if they're going from one Medicare plan to another or a non-Medicare plan to another non-Medicare plan. The only exception is if they're moving out of the service area or some sort like that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you very much. LACERA claims experience. Item C.
Good morning. On the first page contains the premium and enrollment by carrier. There's been minimal change compared to the prior month's report. Next page, please. One more, one back. Okay, thank you. This page contains the claims experience by carrier. The year-over-year trend for Anthem decreased from 5.9% to 4.5% when compared to prior month's report. Cigna's year-over-year trend decreased from 8.2% to 6.6% when compared to the prior month's report. And Kaiser's experience remains unchanged from the prior month's report. Next slide, please. For all Anthem plans on an aggregate basis, the year-over-year trend decreased from 6.8% to 6%. Next slide, please. And the Kaiser's utilization remains unchanged from the prior month's report. Next slide, please. For the high cost claimants, the Anthem year-over-year trend decreased from 230.8% to 137.5% when compared to the prior month report. Cigna decreased from 18.4% to 3.4% when compared to the prior month report. And Kaiser's has remained unchanged compared to the prior month's report. Next slide, please. The prescription drug rebates remain unchanged from the prior report. Next slide, please. And the dental claims year-over-year trend remained decreased from 9.8% to 4.8% when compared to the prior month's report. And the vision claims decreased by 0.4% when compared to the prior period. Thank you.
Any questions? Okay.
Anywhere we have the increases that will impact the retirees for July 1st.
For the renewal, I think it's a little too early to know what the renewal is going to be like. I think we'll have a better idea in the coming months. So the answer.
But it's going to be, Cassandra, going to be increased July 1st. Is that correct?
Are you talking about for this current fiscal year?
No, I'm talking about actual payments that we'll be paying. How much will that increase?
The overall increase for our premiums for this year was 4.4%.
For July
For the
1st, 23.
Correct.
4.4?
Yes.
Good enough. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are on item D, federal legislation. Out there in Cyberland, Steve.
I am out there. Thank you very much. I will be brief. I have no updates on federal legislation, which is actually a good thing, but I would like to take the opportunity to introduce a new Siegel colleague, Debbie Donaldson. Debbie comes to us from a variety of backgrounds, but probably most importantly to us, she has worked with LACERA both as a consultant and as a carrier representative, particularly in the areas of retiree healthcare. So Debbie, happy to introduce you to the group and welcome to the team. You're speechless. That's rare.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to see some familiar faces and happy and more just thrilled to be back to work with LACERA. Thank you.
You guys may remember hearing Debbie speak sometime when we were talking about OPEB. She was part of that with us and all.
Is that it, Steve?
That is absolutely it.
Start of the silly season in Washington, DC.
Does it end?
No, but it's going to get a lot sillier before it goes the other way. Item 7, items for staff review.
I have nothing.
We have nothing. Items for future agendas.
Nothing.
Good of the order. Anyone have anything for good of the order? Morning, Alan.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I missed the meeting. Good to see everybody.
With that, accept the motion to adjourn. We are adjourned.
Recording stopped.